Holly Puckett. Joining me today is Mike Sublette with the Huntsville Fire Department. Welcome, Mr. Sublette. What exactly do you do with the fire department?
I'm an inspector with the fire department and an investigator. And as an inspector, we go out and look to make sure everything is fire safe. And as an investigator, we go out and determine what actually causes the fires.
Okay. And what are the dangers of calling in a false alarm?
When you call in a false alarm, one thing a lot of people don't realize is the fact that those trucks are centrally located throughout the city so that they can have a real quick response time. And if the trucks are going to a scene that they're really not needed in, and at the same time that they're needed at some location, then it's going to cut down the response time or increase the response time tremendously. And not only that, each time the trucks run through an intersection, there's always a chance of an accident happening. So everyone should understand this and think about these things before they do call in a false alarm.
Okay. And what should I do if my clothing catches on fire?
Okay, the simplest thing just to remember is the stop, drop, and roll. And it sounds real simple. It doesn't matter if you're 6 months old or 75 years old. Stop, drop, and roll. And that's the easiest way to extinguish a fire.
Okay. And I've heard this before. What does EDITH mean?
EDITH, that is exit drills in the home. Everyone needs to practice that. If you practice fire drills in the home, in the event that you do have a fire, you'll be well prepared and can handle the situation a lot better.
And what things are needed for a fire to start?
Okay, there's three elements, basic elements that you need. You need heat, fuel, and oxygen to have a fire.
Okay. And how many exits do you need to get out of your home in case of a fire?
All right, everyone should have at least 2 exits. If you're unfortunate and don't have but one doorway out of your home, you can always count a window as a second exit. And you need to take the time to go around and check and make sure. A lot of people paint their windows and don't go back and check to make sure they'll open up properly. So you need to take a little bit of time and go back and make sure that second exit is some means that you can escape from.
What's the #1 cause of house fires in the United States today?
Heating appliances. And that covers a pretty large area, not only your central heating units, but we're talking about kerosene heaters, wood stoves, heating appliances like this, and they cause more fires than any other thing does.
Okay, and what are combustibles, and how far should a combustible material be kept away from heat sources?
Okay, combustible materials are basically any material that will leave an ash after it has burned, such as wood, paper, cloth, and they need to be kept at least 36 inches away from any open flame.
Okay, what's the leading cause of fires where children are involved, and what should children know about prevention?
Okay, the leading cause of children being involved in fires is smoking materials such as cigarette lighters and matches. Fire is a very curious thing to children anyway, and if they see a cigarette lighter laying around, they're going to experiment with it and see exactly what it will do. And once it's in their hands and they're not familiar with it, then normally they are going to catch something on fire when they play with it. And just to prevent this, the easiest way is just to keep cigarette lighters and matches up out of the reach of children.
Okay, and what should I do if I'm awakened by a smoke detector in the night?
Okay, as soon as you hear that sound, the first thing you need to do is roll out of bed, get down on the floor, because you want to crawl, you want to stay underneath the smoke. You will crawl over to your bedroom door. You should sleep with your bedroom door closed. You'll take the back of your hand and feel of the door. If it's hot, it's telling you that you cannot go out the door that way. You're going to have to find another means of escape, which may be another door or a window. If it is excessively hot, again, like I said, take the precautions. You may have to go get some wet rags or something if you have them available close. You want to make sure that the smoke does not enter the room. And if you've got a little crack in the doorway, then you want to put something there to prevent the smoke from coming through. If it's not excessively hot, then you probably can escape that way. You need to open the door very slowly and see what's on the other side of it. And if there's not a lot of smoke there, stay down, crawl, and find the safest escape route possible to get outside.
Okay. And what should I do if I escape from a burning house, but when I get outside I can't find my pet?
Okay. Very good question. Regardless of what you're looking for, once you get outside, especially pets, don't ever re-enter a burning building. The chances of you surviving after you've re-entered a building is not very likely. You will be able to go back in and get back out. Keeping in mind that smoke is what kills people. It's not the flames itself. You can only take in a small amount of smoke in your lungs without being overcome by it. So once you do have that meeting place outside, you get outside, remember, never go back in for any reason.
Okay, and what phone number do I call to report a fire, and what information should I be prepared to give?
Okay, you need to call 911. And we like to think of it as the 3 W's, the who, the what, and the where. Who being who you are, what is what type of emergency that you have, and where is what is the location that you're calling from.
Okay, and what should I do if I have a grease fire?
On a grease fire, you need to make sure, first of all, depending on what age you are, if you're old enough to be able to try to extinguish the fire, and we don't recommend for people to try to fight a lot of fires yourself, the main thing you need to do is try to make sure that you notify some adult and then prepare your escape to get outside of the house. If you're old enough to extinguish it, remember, don't ever put water on a grease fire. You need to have a fire extinguisher. If you don't have this handy, a box of baking soda, or you can take the lid from that goes over that skillet or pan and place it over it, trying to smother the fire out.
Okay, and if I see a house burning and I know someone is inside, should I knock the windows out with something?
No, that's one thing a lot of people think, that you should knock the windows out. Remembering that the 3 things that make up a fire is heat, fuel, and oxygen. And once you knock those windows out, you're giving that fire a lot more oxygen, and where it's a smoldering, slow fire, then you may have it to where it'll spread very rapidly throughout the entire house.
Okay, and thank you, Mr. Sublette. If you would like more information about fires and stuff like that, what number should I call?
Okay, they can call our Fire Prevention Bureau. You can call 532-7407 or 7408, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have in regards to fire safety.
Okay. Next on Tennessee Valley Kids to Kids, Marilee and Chris will talk with Bonnie Libhart about developing self-confidence.